Before I give my impression about this movie, let me first tell you a story about a man named James Gunn. Starting out as a professional screenwriter who had contributed to some scripts and wrote a few of his own scripts which were horribly mutilated, he didn't really get his start as a writer-director until he made Slither in 2006, a very clever and very entertaining horror film that was not only a good homage to classic horror movies, but was also a very good horror movie in its own right. Not long after that, he wrote a script called The Belko Experiment, which is what we're going to talk about today. But at the time of writing it, he didn't really feel like making it. He was going through a very harsh divorce and preferred to spend most of his time with family and friends, people he cared about, than he was interested in making a movie where people were forced to kill each other. Over the next few years, he would make a very clever, insightful, and entertaining superhero movie, and an even more clever and insightful and entertaining as hell superhero movie. Needless to say, that tremendous amount of creative clout made studios want to have his name on their projects. So while some studio executive at B&H Tilt was looking over their old scripts, they happened to come across James Gunn's The Belko Experiment and asked James if he wanted to make it. He gave them the permission to go ahead and use the script, but declined directing it, most likely because he was already busy making Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which by the way, looks awesome! So they handed the script over to another director, more on him in a minute, and proceeded to create James Gunn's long-awaited The Belko Experiment. Now, why am I telling you this story? Because honestly, it is way more interesting than the actual movie. I was really excited about this movie, not because it was a stupid-looking gore fest, but because it looked like a gore fest that had a point. It looked like a movie that has something interesting to say, a satire on modern world, a commentary on the human condition, a commentary on violence in the office space, things like that. It looked like it was going to be clever, and given Mr. Gunn's pedigree, it seemed like it was going to be exactly that. Instead, it turned out to be yet another case of The Purge, where it had a very clever idea to explore the human condition, but it does nothing with that clever idea. The story follows a group of workers for an American company that's stationed somewhere in the middle of Colombia. One day, the entire building gets locked down, and they are ordered over an intercom by a mysterious voice to kill a certain number of people. And if they don't, then they will kill twice that many number of people. Now you might be thinking, this couldn't have possibly happened. How could they actually do that? Well,
whoever's doing this, they're having a little fun at our expense.
Turns out they all had trackers implanted in the back of their skulls, which also happens to contain a small amount of explosives. So now, the people within a situation have to find a way to either escape or abide by the rules of the game. So that sounds like a great setup, right? A group of people trapped in a small environment, forced to do things that they might otherwise never consider doing. It's Battle Royale meets Office Space with a little bit of Hunger Games thrown in for good measure. Or at least it would be if it actually did something with this idea. Instead, the film just constantly throws red herring after red herring, i.e. one interesting potential idea after another interesting potential idea, and never actually follows through with any of the neat stuff that it constantly hints at. It's like the film is being made up on the spot, where nobody really knows where everything's going to go, so they keep throwing out ideas, hoping it'll stick, and then when they don't, they just kind of abandon it and go on to another one. It is the cinematic equivalent of the directionally challenged. But TheNorm, I hear you say. You just told us how much of a talented writer James Gunn is. How can this movie be so bad if he's the one who wrote the script? Well, there are a couple reasons, I think. One, this is very likely James Gunn's first draft of the script. It very likely didn't have the amount of polish that Gunn would have otherwise wanted to give it. And since he was already busy working on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, he very likely had no time to give it said polish. Two, the film was directed by Greg McLean, an Australian horror director mostly famous for Wolf Creek and The Dark... I forgot he directed that. Yeah, in case you can't tell, The Darkness is a horrible film, solidifying the fact that Greg McLean is a horrible director. So, given the fact that we have James Gunn's early draft of a script and a director who really doesn't do well at his job, it's not at all surprising that the movie didn't do very well. Folks, I'm very sorry to say that this turned out to be a great disappointment, which is becoming very frustrating after a great number of other disappointments I've had to sit through so far. So honestly, I cannot in good conscience recommend this movie to anyone for any reason. So just skip this, and if you're really a big James Gunn fan like I am, just wait for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Actually, there's also a fun story behind this one. You see... Wait, I'm not done yet. I didn't get to throw my 2 bits about this one. Anyway, apparently the script for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was so good, it made its star, Chris Pratt, cry. Yeah. So I'm pretty confident it's gonna be that good. Okay, thank you all again. That's it for today. I'll see you next time.